I am Pietru, and I am a volunteer coordinator for Amakhala Volunteers. And today I'm doing part 2 of our chats with Amakhala's employees. Basically, part 1 was talking to our game manager as well as our head guide for the Woodbury Lodge, which was a few days ago. And today I'll be chatting about the volunteers section. And basically, I'll just cover our program and what we do and what our volunteers basically have been doing right before lockdown started and how it's affected the program. But yes, good. Okay, it's coming in. Okay, for a third time, I am Pietru. I'm the coordinator for Amakhala Volunteers, and I'll be chatting to you guys about our program and what we've been up to. Just hold on 5 seconds. How do I do that even? Not entirely sure. There's a setting on. I think that's going to make it worse. Hopefully it doesn't. Yeah. Trying to be tech savvy. Okay. Think there. Okay. Great. Just a brief background on... First off, thanks Roger and the Expedition Project for giving us this platform to tell you guys about us a little bit and about our program and what we do here at Amakhala and how we've come about to exist. And we've actually had a long existing relationship since 2012, if I'm not wrong. And yes, we're basically going to give an update. I have been with, I'm a newbie in terms of how long. Unfortunately, my colleague who's done this for 4 years now with the volunteers could not be with me due to the social distancing and the lockdown, so I'll be carrying it out. But yes, I came on board in January, back when they decided to expand the program, because for a long period of time they had a max of 8 volunteers at a time, and then they had so many requests coming through that they want more volunteers to work at Amakhala and help us out and volunteer. So they decided to expand the program and therefore get a new coordinator to come into the picture. And so I came on in January, and things have been spruced up, jammed up, and so many things have happened since then. But unfortunately I had to stop for quite some time now due to the lockdown that's happening. We went from 8 volunteers that we had max to 16 volunteers at a time. The volunteer program basically have 3 main arteries, which are maintenance on the reserve, monitoring and ecology work, as well as community work. So basically our maintenance can go anything from doing erosion control to road maintenance to fence patrols to fence fixing to working on bomas to bush clearing. And we also have so then it goes to ecology, and our ecology sector, we help out our ecologist where she needs help in terms of monitoring. We monitor our predators, our lions, our cheetah, our leopard that we recently released. Unfortunately, we could not get involved with that at that moment because as he got released, lockdown happened. So hopefully in the future, when we're back up and running, we'll jump into that as well. Then we also assisted with buffalo monitoring and other game counting involved. That's for ecology section. And then we've got the community side that we do also work on, which basically we have a big we've got a big part in Isipo, which is a now multi-purpose center located in Patterson, and we assist them by playing with the kids at the center. It has after school care and before school and during school care for children that either the parents can't take care of them at the time or that kind of thing. So we bring in our volunteers to play with the kids. We also have a bead program which they make bracelets for the kids, or the kids actually assist with making bracelets, and these bracelets, then the funds towards these bracelets, they go to various sectors such as the Amakhala Foundation, which is another part in the community we actually help out a lot. The Amakhala Foundation, they're actually part 3 for Amakhala, and they will talk about their things. But just briefly, we have assisted them in specific days that they like to do during the year, which include sports days, Arbor Day. We helped with World Read Aloud Day. We would have assisted with Water Day, and then lockdown happened in that week. So unfortunately, we could not have done that. But then we assist them. So we assist the Amakhala Foundation, Isipo Multipurpose Center, and then Sudbury School, which is a local school here for primary kids. We help out with their literacy programs, and we basically assist where they get taught in the library to read. We do letter games with them, word games with them, and we just help them work on their vocabulary and pronunciation. So basically, yes, our program can go from anything from being a 1 weeker to an 8 weeker. Average out, they come in and they do about 3 weeks on average, but I would personally say a 4 weeker has a really good chance of getting into action with everything we do. Every week is different, no week is the same. You're not going to have the exact same day, the exact same week. Maintenance can always change, monitoring can always change. You can always sit in. There's always a chance if something had to happen on the reserve with the vet work that we can possibly observe what they're doing. If there is a relocation of any predators, we could get the chance to get invited to observe. So yes, there's always a chance to do that. And then we also have special things that we do with our volunteers just to basically give back to them for helping out so much. And generally those are excursions that we take them out. And we also have a collaboration of sorts with other sectors of the reserves, such as Amakhala horse trails, also Amakhala Big Five walks. We generally assist and we take them out, and they have a great time on foot to see the Big Five. The horse trails, they go on to Carnarvondale on the horseback, and they can view the cheetah from a distance, so it's a pretty cool experience. But yeah, we also have a new project that's happening, and it was, yes, postponed as of now. It is the speckboom project. So what happened is that we were creating little plants of speckboom in a nursery, and the idea would have been to start sample plots on the reserve in order to create new speckboom forests. The reason for that is speckboom, if you don't know it, is a succulent plant. It's a shrub that can grow up to about 2 to 5 meters in height. Elephants love it. It's full of vitamin C, but the reason for planting it is a carbon sponge. It removes the carbon from the air, therefore clearing it, and it is of great value in all kinds of things. So basically what we would have done, what we started doing, is we created this nursery which before we stopped, now it was about 2,000 plants already, and we would have sold them off, funding going towards the Amakhala Foundation, each plant going for a small amount, depending on, it was still a discussed topic, but these plants we'll plant them in plots, and hopefully it's a long-term plan, but 10 years from now, if they're well cared for, they would create a new little forest. And very long-term, 20 years from now, the idea would be to fill up the corridors between reserves, and one day something can happen. Someone can decide to drop fences or anything, but basically, ideally, just replanting them so that we can limit our carbon footprint, basically, yeah. So yeah, I covered the main 3 veins that we focus on with our volunteer program: the maintenance on the reserve, the need for that, and because there's only so much that our maintenance team can get to at once, so our volunteers are of great help, that they can do the things that it might seem like such a small thing to fix a fence, but you wouldn't know how big of a difference that makes. Same thing goes for the ecologists. The ecologists can't view all the predators at once or all the herbivores at once, so therefore we come in and we help assist in a different side of the reserve. And our community plays a big role in any conservation situation. A happy community makes a happy area, and so we give back in that way. We try to give back as much as we can, and then also it gives a volunteer more of an insight on the rural side of South Africa and just our people in general. So I don't know how much I talked so far. If anyone has questions, let me see. Ooh, I covered something here. Well, let me just see. I had to close it. Shoot. Yeah. So yeah, if anyone does have any questions, please help me if I forgot to say anything. Anyone that's logged in right now, please feel free to ask me that question and I will cover it. But basically, yeah, so our program can take up to 16 volunteers at a time. And if you like, I can explain to you. Oh, got one question coming in. Oh, that's a good one. So, the aspects that the volunteer seem to like the most, it goes from different age groups to genders and so on. We find that the younger men do prefer doing the maintenance aspects in like bush clearing and road maintenance and erosion, whereas the women tend to lean more towards the monitoring and monitoring of predators, especially. Um, and then the more, if it comes down to the Spectrum project, especially, we found that the elderly people, they preferred it as well. Just the more, it's a garden aspect as well. So it seems like it's a small job at the time because you're just creating these little plants, but in a bigger picture, they have a big role to play. We have another one. How can the vet students get involved? So on the wildlife vet aspects, we only have, could you say, more of an invitation side to it. If they would like us to view it, or they are free for us to view it, then we can go view it. We unfortunately do not have anything to do with the wildlife vet side, but I can go find out for you about that question, and I'm happy to come back to you on that. That might have more something to do with Dr. William Folds and his side of the things concerning Amakhala. So Johan wants to know, so the volunteer house situated in Patterson it's got a really nice location in terms of, besides that it has a swimming pool, and it's been expanded to accommodate all 16 possible volunteers. And our numbers did actually grow really fast due to the fact that we had so much backing up and we had lists of people in case someone dropped out, they'd come in. Now it's a case of it's a constant, there's always people coming through. So our numbers were looking really good. We went from that 8 immediately in February up to, I think, 13, 14, and we would have hit 60 now in March until the pandemic happened, unfortunately. But the house that they live at, it is, 20-second walk from a really well-known location where people can gather called Sandflats Bar. And it's actually a Airbnb, or no, just a B&B, but it's a really nice place. And I know for a fact that every volunteer that goes there has the greatest memories for some reason, because that's where all the volunteers just bond with each other. So the fees to join the program, that is from Joannet van Rooyen. I am not entirely sure of the exact number. I'm happy to contact you personally and send it through for you, just because I don't deal with the financial side of things. That is another lady in our department. So I am happy to send that through to you if you would like that. Okay, we have one from Roger. Other projects local volunteers can help with? Local volunteers, we don't necessarily advertise amongst local volunteers, only due to the fact that Amakhala is so far from the biggest towns, being we have Grahamstown about a 35-minute, and then we have PE, which is about an hour's drive away. I'm sure it's open to that. We've had very few, but we have had South Africans in the past to assist us and help out and so on. And if anything, right now during lockdown, I haven't actually covered what lockdown did to us, and I'll get to that now, but during lockdown, if anything, the volunteer program has stopped, but we still have a few game rangers and other employees that stay on certain areas of Amakhala that is assisting the Amakhala Foundation. As of now, we are actually helping the Amakhala Foundation create masks, which they are providing to the local communities. Each household will get, I believe, 2 masks, and it's a self-made mask out of a material and just plain, what do you call them, band-aids, or not band-aids, I can't remember, rakkies, the word, but we've been assisting in creating those. It's unfortunately, so you can consider them local volunteers because they